Hello, Katie here from Katie's World. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. In this video, I'm going to be putting together the cover of our Magical Lands album set. This is going to be for volume 2, and this video is going into my mini album technique series of videos, and this is just going to be adding a pocket to the cover of your album. Really simple, but just so you can see a step-by-step of how I do it. Okay, so you can use this, for any album that you're working on. So you don't need to know specific measurements, as if you have this kit, then yeah, you don't need to know the measurements. If you're working on any other album where there's a pocket on the cover, you're just getting the techniques out of it. Your measurements are going to be in your instructions. Once this album becomes available, I will put the direct link below where you can pick up one of these kits. Right now, the link is just a generic link to go to my shop, and you can see all the projects that I have to offer. Okay, so we already have the cover done as we did in the first few videos of this series. So we've already pieced this together. That's also on my channel. So now we're just going to go ahead and score. So you're going to need your scoring board. And I like to use the stylus. This is by McGill. I don't even think they make these anymore, but I use the 2mm size to score. I just find that so much easier to use. I'm also going to be using the 3/8 inch score tape. And that's 3/8 inch is a perfect size for working on any of my albums. I will link the tape below as well. I do sell that in my shop. And let's see, what do we want to start? Okay, so we want a 1/2 inch on all 3 straight sides. So I'm going to start here. You want to place it right snug in the corner, making sure it stays straight. Hold it tight so it doesn't move on you. Place this in the groove at 1/2 inch. And press down. Okay, and we're going to try it this way. So I have the straight edge up here. I'm going to do 1/2 inch here. And now I'm not going to rotate it. I'm actually just going to come right over. I see that this is 11 1/4, so I'm going to go back 1/2 inch and score. Okay. And that is, well, this is machine cut, so it's should be perfect. But sometimes when you're using paper trimmers and it's, done by hand, it could be a 1/16 of an inch off or just like a hair off. And so you want to do it this way as opposed to rotating to 1/2 inch, because if your paper is off by a hair, then your score lines are going to be off, making your pocket. So yeah, do it this way, and then you know the distance between is going to be exactly what you want. Okay, so our scoring is actually done for this. I do use my bone folder for burnishing the score tape. So I'm going to go ahead and add the score tape next. And I like to use the Scotch brand titanium. They're the nonstick blades from Costco. These are my favorite scissors to use. Okay, so when I am putting tape on the pocket, I'm going to be putting it on the texture side. This particular cardstock has texture, so I'm doing it on the texture side because I want that to show. And I'm just going to let it hang over the edge a little bit because I want end-to-end coverage. And because the corner is actually going to get cut off, I don't need to hang the tape over the edge and waste that little bit of tape. And you don't want to touch the score line, and you don't want to go over the edge of the cardstock. So you're just placing the tape right in the middle between the score line and the edge of the cardstock. Again, I'm going to hang over the edge there. Burnish. I usually burnish after I trim. Let me go ahead and trim that off. And I like to trim it with the paper upside down, just because then I can rest my scissors against the cardstock and make sure I don't cut into the cardstock. Okay, now that I've cut it off, now I'm going to just burnish it really well, especially those ends, because you don't want to accidentally peel up the tape. You want to make sure that's good and down. The next thing you want to do is we're going to trim off the corners. Now, where that score line crisscrosses, Just going to place your blade there, right over that crisscross, and you're going to cut right through it. I'm not sure if it's able to focus that close. Anyway, so you're going to cut right through. So you don't want to be off of that crisscross. So if you're too far this way of the crisscross, you're going to have a hole in the bottom of your pocket. Too far that way, it's not going to fold properly. It has to be right smack on the crisscross line. Okay, so there's your tape. Now the next thing, we could go ahead and actually stick this down. I'm just trying to determine, do I want to add my decorative parts and then put the whole thing down, or just stick the pocket down? Might be easier. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it like this. That way, if there's any glue oozing out, it's not going to go onto my album. So I've already inked the edges. I used a black ink pad and a dauber to ink the edges. I'm going to use the Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Liquid Glue, or you can use a tape run, permanent tape runner. I'm just going to use the glue here. And it has 1/8 of a border around, so I'm centering it between the score lines and just all the way around the edge, all the way around. Okay, now this piece is next. This beautiful image is from Miss Kate Cuttables. Check out her website. She has awesome cut files. Okay. I just go ahead and line it up here. I have to look at the back just to make sure it's perfectly aligned. I'm going to press it down. Apologize for the camera shake if you're seeing the camera shake. Okay, so that is beautiful. So now we're going to go ahead and stick it down to them. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, let me turn it over. We want to burnish. We want to fold and burnish. So we're going to fold the tape edges back, burnish. Yeah, nice and creased. All right, now we can go ahead. Now, before removing the tape backing, I like to line it up first, make sure my book is right set up. In this case, front and back is exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. So you're gonna keep the tape backing on. You're lining it up with the bottom edge and then the bottom right corner, the outer edge. And so you're gonna have 1/8 of an inch extra right here. If you can see that. Okay, that's okay. All right, so actually in this case, usually I hold it down and then take off the tape as I'm holding it down so it doesn't move. But in this case with the cover, it's a little bit harder, and I think it'll be okay because I'm putting it on the chipboard. I think I'll be able to line it up all right. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to start with the corner, making sure it's perfectly lined up with the edge. Okay, that looks good. I'm just pressing it down. Okay, now that's it. That's how you do it. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to be adding in these pieces. Now I'll just do this off camera just to not have a super long video. But this is going to be my cover piece. I'm just going to add my glue or my tape, and then it will, you just carefully slide it all the way down, and then you're just going to center it. What I do is actually line this up with the decorative of this piece, because like I said, it's over just 1/8 of an inch there. And so it'll be like that. And then you're going to have your spine piece. I've already inked the edges of these. I'm just going to glue them down off camera. So that'll be the spine. And then the back, we're going to have this piece on the back. And that's it. So you just glue those down, and then that's the cover. So that is how you add a cover pocket. Really simple. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click that bell for notifications so you don't miss the magic. And follow me on Facebook and Instagram to find updates for upcoming projects. Thanks so much and have a great day.